because we know fathers play an important role in society. And the message that we are getting across is the importance of nutrition in the household, that the fathers are able to have that influence with. But today we have an amazing, wow, just an amazing event for you. And I hope that you get a lot out of it, because it is going to be a lot of information given. And we have some very special guests that I am going to introduce. Well, not me, but we have some amazing young children, adults, young adults that are going to do the introductions today for us. But before we do, I just have a dedication to dads and the fathers, that something just came into my heart about, I don't know, a week and a half ago. And so I just want to do that, and then we'll get into the introductions. But if you allow me, just give me 1 second here. Who was there when I first opened up my eyes? And who was there to heal the hurt when I first learned to ride? And who never missed a game? Celebrate me won or lost. Yes, my father was. When adolescent years had come, who helped me understand. And when the winning point was scored, who in victory raised my hand. And when I hung my head in shame, who's there to lift it up? Yes, my father was. And who's always by my side to help me make it through. Yes, my father was. That's to all the dads out there. Now we're gonna get this thing started. So we're gonna introduce Dr. Victor Payton. And I have so much respect for this man, so much admiration. I just can't. I had to have some kids, I had to enlist them to do this for me, because I would have just lost my emotions. So without any further ado, can we please have Jordan and Christian Gardner introduce Dr. Victor Payton?
Dr. Victor Payton is the proud husband to the radiant Gwen Payton and an incredible father.
Dr. Payton is a board-certified pediatrician with over 40 years of nurturing young lives.
He enjoys tennis and bike riding while residing in the Athens, Georgia area. Please join us in welcoming Dr. Victor and Gwen Payton.
Wow, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we were gonna go ahead and introduce Khary, but I think on the heels of that introduction, let's just get into Dr. Victor Payton. Dr. Payton, are you ready? Are you there, sir?
He has to unmute.
Jordan and Christian, that was extraordinary. That was so special. Thank you so much. There's no way I could have done that the way you did it. Well, I'll tell you what, while we wait, Dr. Payton, get your stuff together. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna introduce our other special, amazing dad.
And we can hear you, Gwen, I believe.
Yes, you're unmuted. You can go ahead. You're unmuted, Gwen.
Okay, go ahead, Victor, and start, and I'll bring up your slides.
Okay.
Go ahead and start.
Well, thanks for having me today. Hopefully, we won't put everybody to sleep, but information and leadership is the main issue that I want to bring up as a father. Will the person on the back row sit up and pay attention? That person next to you. Okay, yeah, just pay attention. It won't be that long. But to be an example, we have to lead as fathers, not be led or ignore the family and what really needs to be done. We forget a big issue of what is good health. Fruit and nutrition, diet and exercise are the important things that we need to acknowledge and take responsibility for. In my over 40 years of practice, I've stumbled into many things by accident. And a couple of the things where people put their ideas that are wrong. One mother even asked me one time by accident about putting sugar in the formula because the baby didn't like it. Another parent who we were discussing nutrition and we got back together and say, well, he even clams up on the refrigerator going for the cookies in that. And I thought we'd discuss about getting rid of the cookies. But children are going to see what you do, not what you tell them. Now, I began my practice with little to no information on nutrition. In fact, my nutrition education, I think it was 30 minutes during my 7 years of training. We learned to treat disease, not to prevent it. Hopefully some pediatricians are getting into that. But I took the Juice Plus for maybe 5 years before Dr. DuBose at one convention mentioned to me when I said, well, I don't introduce it to my patients. He said, well, don't you think it's irresponsible to have something that can do so much for so many people that you're not telling them about? So I went, yeah, probably. From that point, I started introducing the fruit, vegetables, the children's health program, you know, to my patients. It was like, you can get something for free. And then I was saying that I'm doing nutrition anyway. And here is something that will add to that. Now did we go too far on the slide here?
No, you're here.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big issues that we have in children is the sugar that they get in the diet. Now, fruit and vegetables are great, but sometimes we ignore the amount of sugar. This slide is amazing how much sugar and how many teaspoons of sugar that a child will get during the day. And we think, well, he eats well. You know, he's getting plenty of sugar, and we're wondering what the problem with obesity, attention deficit, and other problems are. Now, the issue of the sugar is when we sit down to eat, we always think we got to have something sweet to drink. We need water. And for those who are in the South, we have water, okay? But it's basically H2O with that. Water has no calories, and we're going to show that later, but it hydrates. Why do we need that much sugar in the diet? But we see that kids are programmed for tasting and sugar. What was a National Geographic had an article many years ago about sugar being more addictive than cocaine. It's amazing that we insist, and we used to do that at our family, but now Kool-Aid, what was that? Artificial sweetener and maybe a pound of sugar. Kool-Aid, real great.
Dad, I believe it was 5 pounds of sugar. It was 5 pounds of sugar.
It certainly could have been. But basically, we don't see how much sugar we get in the diet. Now, here's an example of something that's amazing too when we look at it. In 8 ounces of lemonade, we're getting 13.75 teaspoons of sugar. Look at the root beer, 16.9. And then we wonder why, and this is actually sugar in these bags. And we wonder why kids don't eat well. Well, they get in the calories, as they say, you shouldn't be drinking your calories. You need to eat your calories. But this side I used to have up in my office, and it's amazing how people will look at that and some would just pass by and not until you mention it to them. That we're just too much sugarholics and not enough of real nutrients that we need. Good. Okay. Now, one of the main things is the pediatrician articles that I have in research is the children's Nemours Children's Clinic, where they went into looking at the benefits of fruit, vegetables, and nutrition counseling. And we're going to show the slide of the presentation, if she has that ready, which will go into depth of the things that are so important and shows the benefit of proper nutrition in preventing diabetes and pre-diabetics. So if we have that, let's go on to that.
I'm going to share with you results of another randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled Juice Plus clinical study conducted at Nemours Children's Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. This trial, funded entirely by the clinic, resulted in 2 academic publications, one in the Journal of Pediatrics and the other in the Journal of Nutritional Science. The researchers wanted to examine the effects of taking Juice Plus orchard and garden plants on 4 key measurements associated with childhood obesity. First, insulin resistance, since obese people show a higher insulin resistance than lean people. Second, serum beta-carotene, since beta-carotene is believed to be deeply involved in insulin metabolism. Third, transport molecules for fatty acids, since lowering the amount of these molecules is associated with reduced body fat. And fourth, abdominal fat mass, a tangible measure of fat storage and obesity. They tested 30 boys ages 6 to 10. 9 of the 30 boys were lean, 21 were overweight. All 30 received nutrition counseling from a registered dietitian. 15 boys in the test group received 2 capsules a day of Juice Plus. The other 15 boys received 2 capsules a day of placebo. The duration of the test was 6 months. So what did the researchers find after 6 months of Juice Plus supplementation? They found a decrease in insulin resistance among the overweight boys in the Juice Plus group compared to the placebo group. They measured a 300% increase in beta-carotene concentrations in the Juice Plus group compared to no significant change in the placebo group. They identified a clear relationship between beta-carotene levels and insulin resistance, that the higher the beta-carotene levels, the lower the insulin resistance. They discovered significantly lower triglycerides and lower fatty acid transport molecules among the overweight boys. And finally, they measured a decrease in abdominal fat mass among the Juice Plus group and an increase in abdominal fat mass among the placebo group. These results demonstrate that taking Juice Plus fruit and vegetable capsules in combination with nutritional education can help in the fight against childhood obesity.
King Ezekiel, how you doing today?
How you doing, King Ezekiel Sr.?
King Ezekiel's dad. Now, this is one of the favorite articles I present in information in the practice because of what it shows. Very good design article. And the main thing I tell people when they're looking at information or different products, do you have 3 independent sources of the information in the product that you're looking into? Very few, and I haven't got any. I had one to say, well, I looked up and we found 3 articles. Found one was the president, the doctor of the organization. Another had a graduate student study, and as more I looked into it, he was studying under that doctor. So it was like, that's not independent. But the product and information we deal with has more than 30 independent worldwide studies. So it's not just the Juice Plus company. These are universities, people that put their reputation on the line. Now, of course, you can get anything you want if you want to get it out of China or someplace, but I'm talking about 3 independent studies if you're looking at it, and ask that person, you know, do they have that? Not, we can get that for you, but do they have it? And as I say, when my doctor, my family, fathers come in, and I talk with them about nutrition as well, and so much of the attitude, well, yeah, my blood pressure's up, my cholesterol's up, but it's really not bothering me. I say, okay, when you blow your gasket, you can't just open your hood and look at it. When they open your hood, it's gonna be some problems in there. So this is the prevention, and it takes the parents and primarily the father, not sitting in that big chair with his Coke, beer, ho-hos, and Twinkies. I guess I better say Little Debbie's. I'm dating myself with that. But getting their sugar high. So if we're going to prevent and have our next generation live as long and longer, then parents and fathers need to take the initiative. Thank you, and hopefully I didn't put anybody to sleep. Gwen's sitting next to me, budging me, so be sure I don't get carried away, especially with the research and other things. So my side is going to be sore, so let me shut up and let
We love it. You guys are so real.
Yes, I love the organic approach. And Dr. Payton, as I said, I allotted you 16 hours for this presentation. So, you know, you have enough time, but.
Okay.
Listen, he said he was done. Don't go making it, telling him you got hours more for him to talk. We're going to be, some of us got things to do today.
And King Ezekiel, you ain't got your tiger.
Want to eat some fruits and vegetables today.
Hey, King Ezekiel, you ain't got your tiger, man. So slow it down, man. All right, slow it down.
No, hey, the tiger's always with me. The tiger's always with me.
Okay. That being said, thank you, Dr. Victor and Miss Gwen. Thank you so much. I mean, love you guys. But we want to introduce this gentleman with the sense of humor. He's appearing at a comedy club near you in the upcoming future here. In addition to several other projects he's working on. But we want to have Soraya and Zion Gardner introduce our next guest speaker.
All right. Corey Payton is an amazing son and a dedicated Juice Plus dad.
He's an actor who has starred in General Hospital and the Walking Dead TV series.
In addition to doing voiceover work in many projects.
Alongside taking Juice Plus, Corey Payton has enjoyed hiking to stay in shape. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Corey Payton.
Wow, thank you guys. That's very nice. Very, very nice. Almost all of it's true. I don't know who you paid to get them to say that that I was a good son, Dad, but I appreciate it.
Cost enough.
Close enough. Exactly. Well, thanks for having me, and thanks everybody for coming to the Zoom call. I wanted to just show my appreciation and support for my mom and dad who have really, over the course of my life, changed the way that they eat and their focus on not just how they're living their life physically. They've always been physical. You can look at them. Look at my mom and dad. I'm gonna say something, Mom, so that y'all will get big on the screen.
Hi.
Look at them. Look at these two. They're in their 70s. In their 70s, looking just gorgeous and amazing. And yeah, we've got good genes, but they also have always been active. They to this day they're still out playing tennis and what, pickleball, which is tennis without moving quite as much, so that you don't roll the ankle. But still, they're out there swinging and hitting, and I imagine they're going to be doing it for quite a long time. But when I was first growing up, in the 70s and maybe early 80s, we were going along the way that most people do. Dad was mentioning, Kool-Aid, and I put that little pack of red powder or blue powder into a gallon of water, and then take a half a bag of sugar and put it in there and stir it around, and that's what you would drink for the day, and then slowly over time, I noticed that we stopped eating white bread. We started eating wheat bread, and slowly there were less Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms, and Captain Crunch, and there were more like grainy cereals, and we started eating more green stuff, and my dad would, and as I got older and he'd be getting his oatmeal ready, and he'd throw all these walnuts in there, and a nice hearty thing to have for breakfast. The smug look on my dad's face when he would show me all of the nuts and oats and things that he was doing to make himself healthy. He would look at me with this smug look on his face and be like, "Look at me, look how amazing I am eating this food." And me and my brothers would laugh at him about it because we were like, "Who is this guy? Who's just, he's just putting food in a bowl, looking like he's he's the king of England or something." And little did we know that he literally was building his own kingdom. He was building the kingdom of his body. He had learned, like he said, with that conversation that changed the way that he thought about his patients and talking to them about nutrition. He started changing the way that he fed himself in nutrition. My dad, when he would work, he would get up before we would wake up some days, most days, like 5 o'clock in the morning, to go and check on patients at the hospital. He'd work in his office, seeing patients all day. Then he would go later after the office and go to the hospital to check on patients. My dad is a workhorse and has been for decades. And he would fuel himself by drinking Coca-Cola for years. He would throw down some Coca-Cola, and then he realized, you know what? All of that sugar is messing with my insides, and he stopped doing that and started, like I said, building the kingdom of his body. And what I mean to say is that with fruits and vegetables and taking out all of those sugary drinks and drinking water instead, he starts building the foundation of his body. Those cells are stop being fed with sugar and start being fed with nutrients that makes your body stronger. And it was maybe, what was it? I guess 8 maybe years ago that Dad first had was diagnosed with cancer. And the thing is that the cancer that my dad got was very rare, and it was very aggressive. And the truth is that most people wouldn't have been able to survive that. Wouldn't have been able to survive that. But for decades, my dad had been building the kingdom of his body. And even though he got hit with a surprise attack, his body was able and strong enough to withstand it. I thought I was going to lose my dad many years ago. But because he had the forethought to know that, you know what, he didn't say like his patient said, you know what, I feel fine now. You know, he knew better. He was like, no, we got to deal with the foundations of this body and make sure that the structure of this body was strong. And because he did that for decades, he got punched, and he got that, and he hit the canvas. But he took his 8 count, and he got back up on his feet. And we as a family got in his corner, and he started swinging. And you see this guy to this day, still joking and messing around and leading us still. And that's what I want to impress on everybody today is that he led by example. He didn't say, well, you know what, you pointed at us and you better do this and you better do that. No, he would just smugly look at me and eat his oatmeal. And I'd be like, what is with this dude? You know? And now, you know, and now I smugly eat my oatmeal too. Now I'm not a vegan, because I do have cheese from time to time, and I do it, but I call myself vegish. I get a little vegish, you know, and but I am mostly I'm a plant-based, you know, eater, and because when I get to my dad's age, you know, I plan on us taking hikes and climbing mountains. To this until that day, and he showed me the way, and so now I show my kids the way, you know. And one of the best ways that I think that you can do to show your kids the way, obviously he showed us Juice Plus, and I take Juice Plus, and the kids take Juice Plus. It's also great to you know, get away from that to the fast food and everything, and I don't make them, you know, only eat, you know, vegan or plant-based, but they watch me, you know, and then they're like, Daddy, what's that? What's that? And the easiest thing that you can do with your kids is make a salad, you know. You don't have to have a hot oven or something like it. They can be real young, and they can tear up the vegetables and put it in there themselves. And you don't have to use a very sharp knife, but they can cut up their stuff and put it in there. And when they make something themselves, they take ownership of it, you know? And it was like, that's a salad I made. It was good. Daddy, that salad was good that we made, you know? Even that pig, you can make that homemade pizza, you know? You don't have to get it from Domino's. You get the dough, you roll it up. They take ownership, you know, of putting the vegetables on the pizza, you know? Of doing something that gives them a sense of themselves, of fortifying their body, and the earlier you do that, the better. But also, there's never too late, right? Lord knows it's never too late. I've been doing it a while, but I got some gray up in here. I got some gray in here, and it looks pretty good on me. I think, you know, so I don't mind it. It's looking good on my dad too, so he don't mind it either.
Mine is racing stripes.
Exactly. But anyway, so that's my spiel. That's all I had to say is that is to don't necessarily have to preach it, but live by example. You know, just look at my mom and dad, and live by their example. You know. I'm just trying to keep up. So anyway, I love you, Mom and Dad. thank you for your example, and know that it's moving on, and know that, you know, at least once I got on the internet and talked to all these people's ear off because I love you so much.
Oh my God. What a hilarious family, the Paytons. You guys are amazing though, phenomenal. And this really is what the fan club, Fathers in Nutrition, is really all about. This is what I conceptualize in my mind, that we would have these men come on and tell their testimonies. And as you said, Khary, your dad, he led by example. And so many times, even when we don't think a child, and it doesn't have to be our child, it could be a child that you're influencing, it could be a teacher, a pastor, a coach. Those kids are looking at what you do and they're listening at what you say. So I remember playing baseball coming up in Little League. After every game, win or lose, we go what? We'd go get some ice cream. There was never no water, nothing healthy. And it's just the things, the little things like that make a difference in a young person's life. That they emulate those adults, and especially the men. They really look up to us, and in a lot of cases, they want to be like us. I mean, most sons want to be like their dad. Khary, he didn't go into the pediatrics. He went in a different direction, and he's done okay, you know. But
you don't want me going into pediatrics.
No, you're right.
I always say, my people ask me if I went in, if I did that with my dad and became a doctor. I said, he said, you could have saved 1,000, lives like your dad. I was like, I save lives every day by not being a doctor.
Nicely said. Nicely said. I tell you, comedy club coming at a city near you, Corey Payton. Hey, I have an agency, Khary. We'll have to talk about that though. But no, guys, just tremendous information. And this information, it really falls in line with the Juice Plus father, Mr. J. Martin, and the Juice Plus Foundation. It's feeding minds, fueling bodies, and fostering communities. That's exactly what we're doing. Dr. Payton has touched so many people in his community over the years that he's impacted so many young lives. He's fed their minds. Even after they're done 18 and they're gone and they're out of the pediatric environment, but I'm sure they still remember, and he's probably in contact with a lot of those people that are now adults and doing the same thing for their children because of what he's taught them. And fueling our bodies. This just Juice Plus Nutrition, there's nothing on the planet like it. So we have to do our part, like having forums, platforms like the fan club and so many others. There's so many just inspirational leaders and partners in this company that do events such as this. And if you're visiting, if you're a guest, get back with that person who invited you and ask them how you can be a part of this mission, because we're strong. We are in over 25 countries, getting ready to go into Mexico, and we need people. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need everybody from every background that loves pouring into people and making a difference in society. We all make choices. This is a volunteer, sort of like Air Force. I'm not going to say Army. When Beverly Granderson sees this, she's going to laugh, but I said, hoorah. But we need you. We need you. Dr. Payton, now hold it. Lisa, can you mute Dr. Payton? Okay. But let me tell you guys a quick story, and then we're gonna open it up for a few questions. I'm gonna tell you a quick story about Miss Gwen. Okay? Now she's funny too, and that's probably where Khary gets his sense of humor, and Dr. Payton is from Miss Gwen. But while we were putting this thing together, and I'm getting the descriptions and I'm getting the pictures and everything, and so I sent Ms. Gwen a text, and I said, Dr. Victor GQ Payton. And what she responded to me, I mean, I just lost it. She says, that's right, he looks good and he's taken. That was her response, that her man is taken. Ladies, don't even look. And I just lost it, man. My stomach was hurting from laughing so hard over that. But that's just the type of, I mean, just the outlook and the candor and the beauty. They're so authentic, so real as this information we're giving you. And I really hope that you find that this information was valuable. You can implement it into your life and start making a difference. As Khary said, it's not too late. The earlier, the better, yes. But if you're just hearing this for the first time today, then great. From today on, start making a difference in your life. And that's what it's all about. So we're going to open it up for questions. But I do want to give one shout out to the Greater Washington Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if we have any young men, young women, any staff on board today. They were invited. We're just getting ready to develop a great partnership with them here in the Washington, D.C. area. And of course, the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America, a new partner with my organization, RCG, Veteran-Owned Health and Wellness Company. If any of you folks are on, thank you for joining, and we look forward to developing our partnership and relationship with you and introducing great content like today for you. So thank you so much. And all the guests, thank you very much for joining this event, and we could not do this without you. We love you. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even know you, but I'm going to tell you, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I care about you deeply, and I want to have an impact in your life, in your kids' life, and your neighbors, your community. We just want to make a difference. So please get back with the person who invited you. And that being said, let's open it up if anyone has any questions. I think we're good on time, Dr. Shavers, right?
Yes, but I did. One person had a question in the chat, and I'd like Dr. Payton to respond to it. The person asked about diabetes specifically, and I gave a general feedback about good nutrition being good for everybody, regardless of what your situation is. But Dr. Payton, is there more you want to share in response to that question?
I could, but if I want to be obnoxious, I just say no, mind your own business. But anyway, let's.
Well, I tell you.
The thing is about Juice Plus and diabetes, that to remember, you're getting all the nutrients without the sugar. And that's the big thing. There isn't any disease disorder where nutrition is not going to be beneficial. Well, if you got diabetes and you only can eat so much fruit a day, then look at the fact that you're getting all these antioxidants to protect your body without the sugar. That alone is the biggest thing to relate to almost any disease. You can't relate it. Unfortunately, doctors, and I remember my doctor when I was first diagnosed with the plasma cell leukemia, and I found out I was very special, 1 in 10 million. So you're talking to a special person, and I showed them the Juice Plus, and he looked at it, and I wouldn't take that. Well, I went against medical advice because I'd researched it. And then I asked them, what should I not eat? Oh, you can eat anything. Huh. All the sugar things and all that. But when they do these cancer studies, what they're doing is injecting you with radioisotope of sugar that goes to the cancer. But you're going to tell me I can eat anything. So where's the nutrition behind disease prevention? It's there. Just look at the facts, not the opinion. Facts don't care about your opinion. Just get the facts. The other point is with the obesity, lack of exercise, how many people, and I've known some that are pre-diabetic, as you say with the Nemours Children's study, that they had decreased insulin sensitivity. How many diabetics need or pre-diabetics need insulin, and they can decrease the amount of insulin they need? I mean, that's amazing. So you would prefer to spend more on insulin than on fruit and vegetables? It's a no-brainer. You're affecting yourself naturally instead of getting more medications, which how many doctors write medicines that they don't even know much about. So that's the important thing, that just limiting weight, your obesity, limiting your sugar is going to just affect your health and I'll say almost anything and anything.
One last question. Can you talk about the difference, and this is coming from the chat, some private messages, between Juice Plus and vitamin?
Oh, please. How long do I have?
14 hours.
Well, I took vitamins for years leading up before Juice Plus. I got them quarterly, religiously, until I started doing the research. And one of the biggest thing is the vitamin C studies, where it was done at what place? Cornell, where 5 milligrams of vitamin C will do more than what is it? Yeah, in the apple. Okay, right. See, that's why she's the brain, I'm the Muppet here. But we'll do more than 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C by itself because of the additive effect of all the nutrients in the apple. And what we try to do now, not we, but the drug companies, they want to isolate one thing so they can patent it. But nature has a rule for this, why they put all that stuff in the apple for that very reason, to make it more effective. As a physician, yes, I've treated people, oh, vitamins, I take this and I take that. Well, the main thing I've treated over time with a few cases of vitamin A toxicity, tracing down why you're having these headaches or these other things. And, oh, I just take that extra because it was supposed to be good for you. Well, what you find out, ma'am, you got, skip the big term, you've got headaches because of you taking too much vitamin A. Now, do you find anybody who say, doc, I just ate too much fruit and vegetables? Can't say that. Hey, you can be a vegan or whatever, but nature has bottled these things in their natural way, and that's what we need.
Thank you, Dr. Payton. Thank you all. Troy, you want to close us out with and invite Jay Russell?
I do want to say hello to a very special guest, though, a young lady by the name of Trinity Gardner. You've heard from 4 of the Gardner kids. There is one other, Miss Trinity Gardner. I want her to say hello because Trinity has her own podcast. She's 11 years old, and she has her own podcast called The Talk with Trinity. And I just want her to say hi to everyone. Trinity, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Can you say hi to everyone?
Hi.
Awesome. She is so special and just an amazing young lady. And I just, please Google A Talk with Trinity. It's on all the platforms, the first of every month. And she's just an amazing, bright spirited young lady that you'll fall in love with immediately. So Trinity, thank you so much. And all the Gardner kids and Nina, Greg, thank you guys so much for just being so special and continue inspiring me and everyone that you touch, okay? So thank you so much. And I also want to recognize, you're welcome, take care now. And I want to recognize the pageants, because I had the pleasure of meeting the pageants in Rockville, Maryland, I believe a little over a year ago at a women's event that I attended where me and Bob were the only men there. We bonded because we were the only men. And I just want to thank them because the words that they said were very inspirational in my Juice Plus journey. So I definitely appreciate them showing up and supporting this event. I appreciate that so much. And Dr. Shavers, Dr. Sandra Shavers, who is the leader for Team Sentient, I have to thank you in front of everyone because I'm always doing it behind the scenes, but let me just do it in front of everyone so it's recorded. But thank you for your continued support and leadership. And of course, Gay Russell, who's on the call also, our National Marketing Director. Thank you, Gay, for all your support and everything that I do. And I do a lot, guys. I keep these ladies busy and they stay up with me every step of the way. And Lisa Michelle, the brains behind the technical things going on. Lisa Michelle, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of this and looking forward to never doing this without you again. So thank you. But again, all the guests, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining this event. It means the world to me because you inspire me. I just could not do this without you and just with give God all the glory because it's not me. I just love the way he's using me to do the things that I'm doing, and I give him all the praises and all the glory for sure. And thank my mom, God rest her soul, for making me the man that I am. So again, thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Have an amazing day. We are going to stop the recording, but if you want to stay on and chat a little bit, by all means, please feel free to stay on after the recording is over, and we will be here for a few more minutes. So thank you so much. God bless you. Have an amazing day, and please stay.